Hey everybody, it's Galmadex and welcome back to another run of the Avatar: The Last Airbender Collector Booster Box Arena Direct. We are getting to the late end of the runs now. We're on attempt number 6. We have yet to get that collector box and only a couple more tries remaining. So fingers crossed here we can get a really lucky run in this best of one sealed event with only one loss of breathing room along the way. We'll see if we can open some sweet stuff and end off the year with a box of every set. Okay, that is a 6 rare sealed pool. In the play boosters, you can open up to 3, sometimes even 4 rares, depending on how many bonus sheets there are. You could open 2 regular rares, a foil rare, and a bonus sheet rare. So getting only 1 rare in all 6 packs is disappointing, but some of these rares are tremendously powerful. Particularly just Katara is the one that I've actually played with that I know is completely busted. 5 mana for a 3/3 and a 1/1, and you can give your whole board power and toughness XX until end of turn by dumping X mana into that and waterbending any clue tokens or extra creatures into that ability as well can make it even bigger. So Katara is a huge win condition. Basically, if you resolve Katara and then you untap and get another turn with her, your opponent is probably dead. So Katara is incredible, but I think Iroh is also good. I've never played with or against him though. Let's see. 3 mana 2/2, get a food token. At the beginning of combat, you can give your opponent that food token to get a 1/1 and put a +1/+1 counter on it. Okay, so I mean it's like 3 mana for 2 2/2s at worst. And then if you have more random little tokens to start giving your opponent, you can get more triggers and more counters onto those. Yeah, Iroh's decent. Definitely nowhere near as good as Katara. I had to reread him though, because I really haven't played with or against him much, so I was like, maybe we actually have 2 busted rares. We don't. Iroh's not busted. But Katara's busted. Realm of Ko is really good when you are flooded out or you're in a board stall just staring at each other. You can just start spitting out these unblockable spirits and getting damage with those. Don't love any of the other rares. I think Katara and Realm of Ko are much better than the rest. Iroh's probably 3rd place. Avatar's Wrath maybe 4th. Has been a solid tempo play for me in the past in sealed, but not the most exciting or like rare power level-y one. And then Zuko and Fire Nation Palace are just real narrow. So the rares I think is not where we're likely to get a super good deck here. I mean, obviously Katara helps a ton, but I think the most important thing here is going to be finding where our best commons and uncommons lie, because there's no particular color pair or trio where we're going to have a bunch of busted rares. The best we can do is 1 Katara pretty much when it comes to actually super strong rares. So very little colorless fixing, just a Rumble Arena. As for multicolored, we got green, blue, red, white, black, red, black, white, and blue, white. Let's go. Lots of different dual lands depending on where we end up. There's a Foggy Swamp Spirit Keeper here alongside 2 Messenger Hawks. These all play really well together with the draw a second card each turn theme. It's a very good way to use clue tokens. We already want to play white towards Katara, so I could see blue, white, and black running everything we can to create clue tokens. The clue tokens would also trigger our Tolls of War here. So Tolls of War and the Swamp Spirit Keeper kind of synergizing together, both of them playing well with the Messenger Hawks as well. I'm liking that Esper idea a bit. There's also a potential Jeskai plan, going blue, red, and white. That way we could play Katara and Iroh, have 2 of our strongest rares together. So that would be interesting as well. Those are some places I'd really like to check up on. We've got good duels towards either strat. So that's what looks most exciting from the multicolored stuff. But let's check each color individually now. See what is looking good and what is looking bad. So for white, we are not going to be deep enough on white to want to play Gather the White Lotus. But the rest of the white cards are quite good here. Double Kyoshi Warriors. Aang the Last Airbender is one of the best uncommons in the set, as is the Earth Kingdom Jailer removal spell on a stick. We have 1 piece of removal with Razor Rings. Maybe a little bit low on interaction overall and only the 1/2 drop, but some of our multicolored cards make up for that. 2 mana Pox Bearers there, even if we aren't playing black. And yeah, I think we'd want to pair this with another color that has a good removal. Maybe a little bit more cheap on the curve. Blue has no removal at all. And blue is mostly mediocre creatures here. The Kataras are really nice. Not quite as good as the rare Katara. That rare Katara needs double blue to get cast, so if we want to play Katara, we have to play deep into blue. And blue is just a lot of filler for the most part. We get 3 Kataras, Benevolent River Spirit's fine at the top end of the curve, and then just a ton of filler. Whatever way we play it, we probably go Island Cycler, maybe some Snowballers to slow things down. Blue's not what I was really hoping to see here, considering we want it as a core color with our rare Katara. Just the lack of interaction is rough, and the creatures themselves aren't the greatest either. Double Katara, about the only thing I'm excited about there. Well, I guess the other thing to consider here, again, keep those hybrid mana cards in mind. When you add double Messenger Hawk to the blue creatures, it does look a decent bit better because of just how good Messenger Hawks are. So take that into consideration as well. That does make blue look better. Checking out our black. Pretty disappointed here as well. The best thing that black has going for it in this set is a lot of great removal. There are like 3 solid common removal spells and multiple solid uncommon removal spells. We opened up 1, just a single copy of Sold Out. The Hog Monkeys are really filler. We have a Corrupt Court Official and a June. Callous Inspector's fine filler. Black's looking like better as a splash than anything else. Maybe blue-white and splash the black to get a little bit more removal, because our blue and our white are not very interactive colors. Blue has almost no non-creature spells at all, and white has a single Razor Rings, so splash in a Sold Out, and that would also let us splash in the Foggy Swamp Spirit Keeper and play around with that, I suppose. Checking out the red now. This is our most interactive color yet. We actually have 3 removal spells in it. And then some mid creatures. Red is exactly okay. Could see red, white, and play the Iroh though. That's something we could do here. Any good hybrid red mana cards? Water Musicians, but that's also just in white. So not really. Could see this here. This looks like an okay deck. I only get to cut 2 cards, though. Low on 2 drops. I mean, we play Poxbearers in this one. Play the Iroh. And then, okay, now we get to cut 8 cards. 20 creatures. Let's cut a few of those. 17 creatures now. This is a really awkward curve for what's trying to be a somewhat aggressive deck. This really does not look that good. The synergy isn't great. The curve's pretty bad. There's nothing really bomby. I mean, Iroh tries his best. This is literally every 2 mana creature that we have between these 2 colors, by the way. It's not like I cut stuff that made the mana curve worse. This is just every single red and white card. Wait, what? Oh, there we go. We have more 3 mana creatures, but I have a bajillion of those. This is everything in red and white in the whole sealed pool. Does not look like it gets there. I feel like I'm probably gambling on just getting Katara into a deck, even if it means playing some mid-blue spells. But we haven't looked at green yet. Let's make sure we check all the colors. Green's fine. Some filler creatures like Turtle Duck and Vinebender. There's not a lot of allies for Haru unless we go green-white. Is our blue bad enough that we'd want to go like green-white and just run multiple cycle of renewals? Because a single cycle of renewal can pick up 2 islands from the deck and immediately get us to Katara mana. Green gives us 2 removal spells with Allies at Last and Earth Rumble. So we could do this. Gather the White Lotus for sure. Anything blue splashable outside of trying to hit double blue for the rare? Katara Bending Prodigy and Boomerang Basics. Possibilities. Get White Lotus reinforcements in this color pair. Cut Turtle Duck. Try to cut towards like all allies. Could see cutting the uncommon Kataras as well. Possibility. I think I like Badger Mole a little better than Earth Kingdom Soldier. Not in love with the Avatar's Wrath in here. It does eliminate all of our tokens. Potentially our earthbended lands as well, and we have some tokens and some earthbended lands. This is definitely a deck. What about the blue-black splash white? That'd be the easiest mana base of all the decks. Since this needs the double blue, it's the easiest way to fit Katara in, unless we play blue-white at the core, but I think... I guess we'll look at both. We'll look at blue-white and blue-black here. This is blue-white. I think either way we're going to do it, be it blue-white splash black or blue-black splash white. The important part is that we do need to splash into the third. Because I think we need to splash black here for interaction because we're just so low on it. I mean, we only get a sold out, honestly. Splash red, we get firebending lesson and technique. Okay, yeah, so blue-black would splash into white to be able to play Katara. Blue-white would splash into red to get multiple pieces of removal. And I could splash Iroh in. I don't think that's really that strong of a splash versus just removal spells. Well, we'll toss him in. This is a pretty bad Dragonfly Swarm sealed pool because we have like no spells in blue. For instance, in sorceries for that. Drop the Gather if we're splashing into a third color. That creature curve is so bad. But that is sealed. Sometimes you just don't open 2-mana creatures. And by playing red, we get the benefit of having 2 more 2-mana or less removal spells. Keep us more protected against opponents who can actually curve out starting on 2. Everything I have looked at so far looks pretty mid. I'm not the most excited about this pool. We get Realm of Ko here in black as well. Normally a huge hater of Daily Indoctrination. I think it's a pretty terrible draw in the late game. Always, you basically, I mean, 2-mana Earthbend 2 is really bad. So this card's pretty much just 2 mana. Your opponent reveals their hand, choose a non-land permanent, make them discard it. Only hitting non-land permanents is so narrow. It's not even a non-land spell. But it is still a tiny bit more disruption and interaction for exactly the case scenario where it's in our opening hand, because then we could play this from our opening hand and rip out their bomb rare, maybe. When our sealed pool is so low on interaction, I feel like we actually do run it here. but it's not a card I'm excited about. It just gives us more non-creatures, which we're low on. I kind of like the blue-black getting that Foggy Swamp Spirit Keeper. The Tolls of War working together. This feels like our most synergistic trio, and it is tied for the most interactive with blue, red, and white. Because red gives us those 2 red burn spells, black gives us Sold Out, Azula Always Lies, and Daily Indoctrination. So Sold Out can kill literally anything, but Azula Always Lies and Daily Indoctrination, both pretty narrow, but add the 2 together and I think they're equal to like the 1 combustion technique in terms of amount of interaction. I think I'm trying to play Foggy Swamp Spirit Keeper. I mean, this is almost rare level. Rare power level. The splash is pretty deep for this color. In terms of, like, we're running 5 white spells in this deck. But every single white spell only needs 1 white mana to play it. So I think it works. It's going to be a bit awkward mana. Should play one of these filler creatures that I have set aside. I should play a Geyser Leaper over a Cat Owl. It has the chance of triggering Messenger Hawks and Swamp Spirit Keepers. And both of the 2 were really filler for the last edition. Yeah, I mean, I don't love this. This looks like the most synergistic and consistent deck we can build. The only less consistent part about it, of course, being the mana base here. But that is going to be pretty inconsistent for either of the best builds in this sealed pool. Yeah, I like the blue-white-black, I like the blue-white-red, I like the blue-white-green. It's one of those. I'm going to go with the blue-black splash white build so that we can get Foggy Swamp Spirit Keeper added power into the deck and see how that plays out for us. We'll double check our mana base here. We're on 12 black spells, 10 blue. Eight sources of each if you count Rumble Arena. And this gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sources of the white splash as well. That's a pretty solid mana base, actually, by sealed standards for the 3rd color. Yeah, I think I actually agree with the auto suggester in terms of mana base there. We'll call it a deck here, hop into the gameplay, see how far this one can take us. All right, well, immediate game 1 punished by the mana base. We have the strongest card in the entire deck if we make it to 5 mana, but the only way that we help make it to 5 mana is 1 bounce spell. Keeping this hand is 100% gambling on drawing a swamp, of which we have 7 out of 33. It's less than a 1 in 3 chance. We would really need to hit it in the first 3 draw steps. I think that's a mulligan. Okay, this is much better. Keep this. Might ditch the warship. I could see ditching the koi. Court official into warship into hawk crew. And get rid of the big fish. Playing against a blue deck. There's the white source as our first draw. They start with first time flyer. We draw into Katara again. We'll lead with corrupt court official. Nothing else to play on to. Generally, if you have any other creatures to play on turn 2, you'll lead with them and play the court official a little bit later, once your opponent has less options for what to discard. But I'm never going to sit there and just not run it out on 2 if I don't have another spell to play. I'm not going to tempo myself. Draw second Messenger Hawk. Very cool. So let's drop that and pass. We're under a weirdly high amount of pressure here. They have a cheap flyer and a cheap menacer. It's a lot of hard to block creatures already. Luckily, no lesson in their graveyard yet to buff the first time flyer. There's Obsessive Pursuit, a very strong rare. Gives them a clue token every turn, so essentially draws them a card every turn and puts +1/+1 counters on the board every turn. Super, super threatening when you're in the aggressive position, and they certainly are this game. I'm just kind of by default being on the play. We have no good blocks. All I can do is chump 2. Rather save the chumps for more damage later if I can. Play the Warship, I at least get to hold off the first time flyer. I guess we theoretically hold off both of them. Well, no, I have to tap both my creatures to crew, so I can't block the Menace here still. But we hold off the flyer. Send in both. So they can do removal spell on Warship. We're still definitely crew here, because the only thing these creatures are doing is trumping. If we're not crewing. Yep. Removal spell on Warship. Costs all their mana at least. There's the small Katara. They are taking a damage every turn from their pursuits. Still 18 life though. Katara, I have 4 creatures out. If they don't disrupt our board at all, then I'm theoretically waterbending everybody to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 power? That's a lethal counterattack. I mean, we go for it. It's our best bet. Yeah, we go for it. And how much are we taking on the crackback here? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If they crack both clues for 4 mana, they still don't have the mana to shoot us 3 times with Warden. So I think we're attacking here. Rather than holding up blocks. This feels like the best bet. Just flunge it in, hope they don't counterattack lethal. We get them to 9 off of that pursuit trigger. They're blue-black as well, so not a color pair that's particularly famous for combat tricks. Just stack into the 10 damage here. Like, if they have removal for Katara, we are pretty much going to lose. But if they don't have removal for Katara, I don't think they can survive here. Okay, Azula makes them have enough blockers. Then they'll be able to cast our Court Official against us. I think I still keep the flyer over it. Obviously, don't let them exile Katara herself. If they attack with anyone, they're dead. Guess not quite. They go to 1 if they attack with somebody. Jump, jump, go to 1. No, they are dead, because Katara can also tap for the Waterbend. We can only activate the Waterbend during our turn, but not at sorcery speed. We can do it at instant speed, so we can attack with Katara and Waterbend with her. So they attack with nobody. And this just forces chump, chump, chump. It's their only line. And I guess I was right before we actually did have lethal. Without even like drawing a land there, because we would hit them for 8 and then Pursuit pings the final one. Okay, concession from our opponent. Lucky game for us, really showing off the absurd power of Katara. We were miles behind that game. And all you have to do, as I said when we built this deck, when we looked at our sealed pool, if you resolve a Katara, they don't kill her. However bad of a spot you're in, often you'll just win anyway. And that was what happened that game. Katara completely flipped it and won automatically there. Very nice we got to pull out their removal spell on the warship, because if they had just left that around and grinded out a bit of a longer game, still had it around for Katara, we would probably not be able to flip that around as easily as we did there. That is 1-0 heading into game 2. Here we are for game 2. The Katara is very awkward in this hand. It's very fun, and we have a land cycler as well, but it also just grabs a black mana. I'm going to keep this, and my justification for keeping here is, let's say I mulligan to 6. Would I keep this and put Katara on bottom? Yeah. So I'm just going to say this was a mull to 6, and we put Katara on bottom and kept the mono black hand. Oh, Lord. We've drawn 5 black sources, 3 swamps, a Remiko, and a canyon crawler. Playing against blue, white, and red, we've made them discard an island there. There's their forecasting fortune teller. Pretty good stat line against court official, makes that useless. Draw a white spell and drop Fire Nation warship and pass. There's another fortune teller. So your opponent's gonna be doing real good. On card draw here, Barrels of Blasting Jelly to have perfect mana as well. They do go ahead and poke us for 1. We can't crew the warship yet. There's our blue source, which means we don't do anything here, but we're not under too much pressure. We're just taking a couple points of damage. Our opponent's got very good setup right now, though. They're getting quite a bit ahead in card advantage, if nothing else. Okay, they're just going to pass through with us holding all our mana up. Fair enough, and alright, we just hold up a sold out. If we don't need to cast it, we will make a spirit. And then I've got my 2 power to crew a warship, and I also have an unblockable creature. Pass through, here's the spirit. They're going to play an Appa, sure. Airbend the fortune tellers to draw a couple more cards over time. We'll sell out the Appa while they're tapped out of all their mana. Make sure they're not getting more 1/1s when they're recasting everybody. Poke for 4 with the warship. And there's forecasting fortune teller. Back again, and then the other one. Nope. Just gonna play 1 and crack a clue. They're trying to hit land 5. And failing. We're trying to hit land 6 and failing over here. Let's go Messenger Hawk. And crack the clue. Perfect. Not only is it land 6, but it is the white source, which is a great one to find. Jam for 5. They could chump the 4 if they want. They're not going to. They're going to go down to 11. Master Pyondal. It's a card we would really want to kill before it triggers a single time, but we can't. We have to wait until it attacks to cast Razor Rings on it. Can't draw an extra card to trigger. Messenger Hawk or anything here. They're down to 11. Don't mind attack with Warship and a 1/1 and then play a 6/6 Canyon Crawler. And obviously, if they block, we Azula's thing. Our opponent thought I did not know what First Strike is. And so we can kill the Piandao here. Have a 2-power unblockable threat. Hit for an extra damage. Now we pass through. Geyser Leaper's the play. Perfectly fine. Second blue yet. Getting a lot of unblockable damage in right now. No way to draw a card here. Trade into Geyser Leaper and acquire the clue. Does not feel bad to me. We have the clue for the Messenger Hawk. Oh, opponent is just getting blown out left and right. These have lined up so well for us. No Canyon Crawler for the turn, but we'll just get another unblockable creature then. Yeah, opponent's in a rough position because they're at a low enough life total. They are in these spots where it's like they kind of have to block and make us have it. And we've just had it twice in a row. Double deserters, chunk up their blockers. Yep. End step, get another spirit. Getting for 3 unblockable damage a turn now. It's a Tolls of War to trigger the Messenger Hawk here. Get a 1/1, crew the warship with 2 1/1s if I want, but it would just run into the 3/5 anyway, so I think we're only attacking with the unblockable creatures. Find the Spirit Keeper after drawing the extra cards. Sadness on the stack. Ooh, they have double enter the Avatar state, so they get to eat the Hawk and gain 3. Pretty good turn for them, so they maintain their life total. Clear out our flyer. But they're out of cards now. They have a Fortune Teller in hand. They're going to have to start cracking clues. The Fortune Teller technically not in hand, but you know what I mean. They had a Fortune Teller available to cast. June's really nice with all of the things triggering off of a second draw. Well, mainly just Swamp Sphere Keeper. If I Katara, it's 6 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 1, 2, 3 untapped for the Waterbend. Make everybody base power 3. That's 3 there and 4 there. That's exact lethal if they don't have removal. Yeah, we go for it. We actually even just Waterbend more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... Sure. So each creature's individually lethal. Destroy 1 attacking creature, but 7 unblockable damage is exact lethal. So it was correct to just drop the Katara, go for the full 7 there, or else we would not have killed them that turn. They could have top decked into something. There's not a lot of things that would save them at this point, but it is still better to end the game and hit lethal when you can. So, Katara technically probably unnecessary to winning this game, but made it a lot safer. Made sure they didn't have another draw step or two if we just fully just grinded them out with Realm of Ko. But that game was mainly just Realm of Ko. All that damage was really good. And things lined up super well for us, right? We had the Azula Always Lies against the first strike block, the Razor Rings against their next combat trick. Rough game for our opponent there, but we will take that win. We are 2-0 heading into game number 3. Here we are on the play for game number 3 with all of our colors. We don't start till turn 3, but that's fine on the play, especially in sealed. Barrels of Blasting Jelly, turn 1 from our opponent. I'm not gonna lie, my heart skipped a beat when I saw a 1 mana spell coming from a red deck. I was like, uh-oh. Fire Nation Cadets or something. Here's Katara to get lightning struck. But we got a curve out here. If they don't play anything, I guess I am just airbending a barrels. There we go, there's something to airbend. So that Katara gets in and gets a counter. Aang the Last Airbender, just a filthy tempo play. Beautiful stuff from Aang there. Now, Lightning Strike's not big enough to kill Katara, but if they have Rocky Rebuke, where their creature deals damage equal to its power, that would kill because of Death Touch. Okay, we find Path, or they find Path on Aang, we find a land. Azula Always Lies is not good against a Death Toucher. So I just draw 1 and pass, or play Geyser Leaper and pass? We're just running out the Geyser Leaper here. And they could barrels Katara before she draws us any cards. Probably their best play. Depends on what's in their hand, of course. Oh. I feel like barrelsing Katara would be a lot better than pathing Aang, but that does make them safe from sorry, my train of thought is dead. I'm trying to make sure I don't click anything incorrectly. That makes them safe from us hitting like an airbending card off the top. So now when they try to barrels Katara, we make Katara 6 toughness is the plan here. Blow them out really hard if they try to barrels Katara. They don't, though. They're just going to play a big saber tooth. Okay. Still take the turn to just get Katara out of reach of the barrels anytime in the future, then. Realm of Ko is the draw. I think I need to play the Death Toucher. Yeah, let's just make sure I've got blocks for the 7/7. Boomy Bash, the Death Toucher. Send it, are we racing? No, we are not racing, they're gonna hold that back. One, two, three, four, five, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Get a +1/+1 counter or hold up a chump. They want to swing me for 7. They're not holding a 7/7 up on blocks, so I think I'm just getting the counter here. Giant Koi's the draw, 7 toughness, not big enough for the Moose Lion, but Katara is only 1 counter away from being big enough. Earth Kingdom General, gain a couple life, have a 2/2 land, and they're going to haste in for 9. Okay. Hawksbearers and a Koi, double blocker for the turn, taps out all my mana. Sure. Looks reasonable. And then we'll have an 8 toughness Katara in the future. They got the 1 mana deal 2 in their hand. Kept looking at our inspector. Tough. More life gain with the general, that is definitely helping the race. Don't have to tap a clue to draw the card off of it. So I can tap the clue for somebody's waterbending and also draw a card next turn. This feels worth it. Overblocking with Poxbearers. Poxbearers also is enough power to hold off the 2/2. Or trade into the 2/2 at some point. Messenger Hawk is the draw. They're at 15. They're dead in 3 unblockable hits. 6 a turn off of Koi and the 1/1. I feel it might be better to make another spirit than draw a card right now. If I don't make another spirit, though, I can draw a card and eat a food, or I can draw 2 cards. Yeah, no, we'll save that. I will not make another spirit right now. Wait to draw the card till their turn. So then I also could just do it off of Waterbending Katara and saving all of the clue tokens. Firebending less than the Messenger Hawks, that indeed is what it was. It's starting to look more likely that we're going to be eating the food here. Earth Kingdom Soldier. That's perfect for the moose. Some life gain from the general as well. Only got the chump on the moose and I can kill anybody else with Katara. And apologies if you hear random bumping stuff on the mic. My next door neighbors moving stuff on the wall right next to my bedroom, so. Yeah, that's a chump. And even if I draw razor rings, that doesn't change anything, so I don't need to crack the clue and hold up the 1 and a white for razor rings, which is only 2 mana instant. So instead we will waterbend with Katara here, I believe, and save all of our permanents for waterbending to be easier in the future. Find another messenger hawk. Land. Koi's waterbend is free because these clues don't care if they're tapped or not. Ten life, 3 blockers up and a food. Looking solid. If I crack a clue now, I won't have the mana to activate Realm of Ko again if that looks like the play. I have the mana to crack a food and 2 clues. Instead, is it better to crack a clue right now so I could play a sorcery speed creature if I draw into it? Probably. Should be even safer on blocks. Okay, not a creature. So now, even if I draw a 2 mana spell, it's probably just food, because how many 2 mana or less spells do I have? Tolls of War, which doesn't do anything right now. June, Daily Indoctrination, Corrupt Court Official, Razor Rings, Boomerang Basics. I mean, I guess I can still do this, and then I have the food up if I didn't draw a better spell. Daily Indoctrination, their hand over eating a food. Daily Indoctrination doesn't hit spells, it hits permanents. So if they have a removal spell to like blow up Katara here, I can't get rid of that. So they barrels away the hawk. Katara blocks a 4/3, 1/1 blocks an 8/8. We take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have to have the food mana up. So we pass holding up the food. Only dead to like double removal. Haster's pretty bad for me. About 13, take 10, and then kill them next turn. GG from opponent. Alright. Sold Out was literally the next draw. That would have been way safer if we had that instead of the Indoctrination. Oh my god. Crazy game of Magic, but that is now 3-0 undefeated so far, and enough wins to get some gems back and a positive record no matter what. beautiful spot to be. That is enough gems to guarantee that if we need it, we can make our 7th attempt as well. All right, here we are on the play for game number 4. Basically a 5-lander, because I'm likely going to have to swamp cycle the canyon crawler. Yep, I'm just going to guarantee the Spirit Keeper Messenger Hawk wombo. Yuyan Archer starts our opponent out. Can attack through this without a combat trick, but the trade into Messenger Hawk is not bad either. I think I'm going to start with the Swamp Spirit Keeper. I think green-red at the common rarity shouldn't be able to kill this. And then I have a big enough creature to crew the warship. Yeah, just go for Earthbender Ascension. No damage in here. Think in turn 5, play Hawk and crack a clue. Play Hawk now and keep the archers off. Even if they kill Swamp Spirit Keeper's fine, but the warship keeps it off as well. Our opponent has an incredible start here, though. Bossing Say and Earthbender Ascension are both very powerful rares that can win the late game really hard. Bossing Say in particular is one of those rares that because it's a land, you can't interact with it at all. And it just puts more power on the board turn over turn over turn, no matter what they're drawing. Artifact creature or enchantment. I don't want to exile Earthbender Ascension though, because then when they get it back, they Earthbend again, and I don't really want to exile the Freedom Fighters either, because it's pretty small. So this is Messenger Hawk plus draw to get the Swamp Spirit Keeper's trigger. Daily Indoctrination is the draw. Might actually be early enough we get to cast that at our opponent. Rocky Rebuke the Messenger Hawk. Sure. Crew this for fun. Uncrew. Jet Freedom Fighter. Well, we're pretty dead. Kill the Spirit Keeper, and when that dies, put 2 more counters on their board. And they're just 1 land away from Earthbender Ascension, giving trample every turn. And even if I fight through all of this, Bossing Say is that inevitability. I very rarely beat that card. Jet is another card with an incredibly powerful enter effect, so jailering it is very risky. I feel like this is Indoctrination and a 3-drop, because the Geyser Leaper doesn't block that much better than just any of these 3-mana creatures instead. Could Earthbend a tapped land here. I'm just going to see what's in their hand. Flopsy? Okay. Captives is also really bad for us, but Flopsy's just insta-death if they top deck a land, basically. They don't have removal in their current hand. So until they top deck removal, Jailer will be helping us for a while. That's such a massive risk, though. It makes a lot of their draws way better. I cannot exile a Jet under Earth Kingdom Jailer. None of these are spirits, right? If any of their cards were spirits, I would hold this back as a chumper. That's how behind we are on board. Bossing say make that forest a 4/4. Good stuff. Play the rebellious captives as well. Could send in Jet here and get some counters around, yeah. Kill the one that doesn't give them counters when it dies. Waterbend 5. Double blue. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tap the spirit. Tap this. Double blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 creatures in the 1 turn. Something. I think our best bet is cracking back in the sky. I think it's play this, tapping the spirit. This also scries to set up draws. It's quite reasonable on this board. Sixth land. Trample on their forest and just kill us with Bossing Say. We're going to put the counter on captives. That's fair too. Forest is already a 6/6 essentially. Captives is a 5/5. Kill a 6/6 here. But now they can just use captives and put the counters on a different land and still just trade 1 for 1 into worship. Killing the land is also another Earthbender Ascension trigger, because the land dies and hits the battlefield again, puts another counter on the board. Again, if I blocked there, they would Earthbend onto a different land. We would just kill a 4/4 instead of a 5/5. And then they would also get another counter in the exchange. Shut off their trample here. Find a way to chump every single turn. It's difficult. I feel like I'm only when I'm not dying is if they don't have trample anymore. We have Zula Always Lies or activate Katara. Firebender Ascension. Sure. Dead to a lightning strike, but Bossing says sorcery. Another trampler. Jump block forest with Katara. Katara on the forest. Jailer on the 3/3, Giant Koi on the 4/4. I can't attack this turn, or they can Ba Sing Se a different land and attack with 4 creatures total. So I can't attack this turn. Better to poke for 1 or draw a card after blocks. I think I'm supposed to poke for 1 here because I'm theoretically in the sky hitting for 4, 9, 10 next turn. Put them to 13, then I have 10 damage on the crackback right now. 10 still wouldn't be lethal in 2 swings though, so I mean like an extra card draw is big versus 1 point of damage. Okay. That's so weird. They drew 2 of the exact same rare in a row. Like, I'm happy it's not a particularly strong one, but it's still very funny. Yep, they go wide. Now I need to play 2 more creatures to not die because they top decked another creature here. That's 1 more creature, not 2. I think I'm dead. It's a freaking Ba Sing Se. I need 6 blockers. I can only hit them for 10, so I don't kill them on the crack here. If they top decked a land, we would have won. Because then I play 2 more flyers. Well, I play another flyer, poke them this turn, and kill them the turn after this. Could still hit a 2 mana or less creature, I guess. Is our only out? Yeah, if I hit a 2 mana or less creature, we survive 1 more turn. Ah, I feel like I fought like my life depended on it, but you can't win them all. Maybe they won't go for it. Maybe they'll be concerned I have like a Razor Rings in hand, which is a card I could have drawn. That would have super won here. Because then they activate, go for it, I Razor Rings and just blow them out here. Yeah, they would have gotten crushed by Razor Rings. God dang it. Alright. This is what it is. I guess I still have that last chance to hit the Razor Rings, thanks to the water bending. And if I hit it, I do win the game. Aang is not Razor Rings. Oh, no, Katara too. Alright. This is actually incredibly close for them having Ba Sing Se, and I'm not sure if our opponent realizes how close that was. Because, yeah, if we survive that swing... 9, 10... I guess it's not lethal if we survive the swing and have to chump with Hawk, which would have been the case there, but we could have Razor Rings that. If we had Razor Rings, we would win that hard, because we just killed their whole board except a single 7/7. And then I would have just crackback lethal, literally. Don't have to worry about flying. But even if I hit any other blocker instead of the Razor Rings, then they couldn't swing there. I get the Spirit attack in. They're getting really close to dying to all the flyers. If they don't send in. All right. I'm pretty happy with how I played that. I think that's about all we could have done there. Fought like our life depended on it, but Boss Sing Say is just a messed up card. That is going to be 3-1 heading to game number 5. All right, here we are for game number 5. Believe we're on the draw here. I wasn't paying attention. Okay, we're on the play. Tolls of War, I'll keep that. Got the White Source with Rumble Arena. Playing against red, white. Pretending Poxbearers is the draw. I'll just play around Lightning Strike here and hold off on Katara for a little bit. Till a turn where I could play Katara and Waterbend. Draw at least one card, and then if they are tapped out, that would be a 4 toughness Katara after the end step. Porcupine is their first play. Boomerang Basics is pretty good against that. Draw a card and drop a Poxbearers now. Team Avatar. Only the one creature out right now, but that's 4 damage, sure. The best draws here. Tara, 2 mana and 3 untapped permanents. I can't Waterbend Katara the turn I play her. Might still be worth it. Now they're tapped out of Lightning Strike. If I bounce the board next turn, best they could do is like retap board 2 mana Lightning Strike. Yeah, the tempo of getting them to use removal in the same turn they have to recast their board, I think is pretty decent. And obviously the lost tempo of not playing a Katara here would be... Not playing anything here would be rough. Nice, we get another +1/+1 counter off of the board, and we get rid of a Firebending Lesson on a card that is completely insignificant. So now they can't, like, kick a Firebending Lesson at Katara or anything. Earth Kingdom Jailer on Katara, sure. We'll get her back if we find a way to clear that out. This means the Koi lives. One big living Koi. Hello. They're on a 4-turn clock from Giant Koi. Unfortunately, they opened all of the removal in their sealed pool. This explains why we only have like 1 per color. They're so greedy, they took it all. I mean, Canyon Crawler works with Tolls of War. And now I need to kill another 6/6. Porcupine. Barrels of Blasting Jelly. Ironically, it is more removal this turn, but it can't kill a 6/6 by itself. So we send Canyon Crawler in this turn. Got Tolls of War drawing a card as well. I get to hold up Azula Always Lies. Or Tolls of War making another blocker. It's the important part here. We are down to 11. Souls of War only triggers whenever you sack a permanent during your turn. So eating the food does not make another blocker here. If I try to Azula Always Lies this thing, they respond with barrels. If I do this and then they try to tap out for barrels, then I Azula Always Lies and still get it. And put the whole team here. If they have like a good combat trick in their hand, that'd make the Messenger Hawk block real bad, but... Are they just going to barrels Katara after this? That would make sense too. As a possibility. But that would pretty much tap them out. Kill all the 1/1s. Give us the Hawk. Lightning Strike Katara. Make Katara out of reach of Lightning Strike. Force them to use another removal spell to kill her. Concession from our opponent, because if they don't have another spell in their hand there, they actually just die to that. Because then I untap, I activate Katara to draw a card that is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 damage for lethal. Because the Hawk will have drawn off of Katara's ability. Katara will be 3 power from the +1/+1 counter. Alright. Things lined up really well for us, really nicely for us. And we are now 4-1 heading into game number 5. Here we are for game 5 on the play. Liking this, Poxbearers into Spirit Keepers. Warship to activate. Might play the Warship first, get rid of its summoning sickness. Attack with it on 4 on the play. Depends on what they play on their turn too. If they play nothing, I think I am running out Warship on 3. Especially since it'll be a while till we actually trigger the Spirit Keeper. It's Katara for us. Poxbearers for Penguins, just a good trade. They are not going to accept that trade. Play the Warship. I probably should have played Rumble Arena this turn. I can do it next turn though. Playing against blue-black. Raven Eagle, fantastic rare. There's nothing in the graveyard for it yet, so it's not making any clue tokens yet. But it's really good in the late game. Get a clue token every turn, drain us for life every turn. Katara is very good with Warship, and again, we're not triggering Spirit Keeper right now anyway, so let's scry one, drop Katara. Attack with the Warship, find a Callous Inspector. I don't hate that with the rare Katara wanting us to have as many creatures on board as possible. It's not a particularly impactful draw here, so I'm still gonna get shits. Fourth mana from our opponent. There's a Messenger Hawk. The clue token to trigger the Messenger Hawk, the Raven Eagle, and the Otter Penguin. The full deck of draw a second card synergy. Go to 16. Can rare Katara while they are tapped out of a quench or something like that. We also have an attack with uncommon Katara already on this board. If I rare Katara, do I get to waterbend at all? 3 permanents I could waterbend with, make everybody 3/3? No, that's worse than just attacking all here. They could have the +1/+1 and untap a creature. How does that play here? 3/4 Raven Eagle. 3/4 Raven Eagle and a 2/1 blocks Katara. +1/+1 hexproof untap a creature is actually quite bad for me here, and our opponent was thinking a lot with their 1 mana up. There's no 1 mana activated ability on their board. I think they have Octopus form. That's bad enough for Katara to just send Worship in. That does mean I should have crewed with Katara instead of pretending Poxbearers, though, but I wasn't considering Octopus form until they sat for a very long time with 1 mana up. Which could be them playing me. They could be in full control mode right now, wanting me to be considering that and holding off on attacks. Next level plays. I can go ahead and crew with Katara post-combat anyway. So they're going to chump with the Otter Penguin to make sure that there is a creature engraved for their Raven Eagle, I suppose. Yeah, now that all of their creatures are flyers, there's no reason not to tap Katara and crew again here. So they hit for 6 here, essentially put us to 10 if they crack the clue. Both of the flyers hitting for 3 apiece. But if they just swing in like that, if they don't have removal for rare Katara, then they're dead. Okay. June, crew the warship. Or June, make everybody 5. Just go June, make everybody 5. Concession from our opponent. Katara, Water Tribe's Hope wins it again. Just free wins from that card. I think we've only really drawn her, really cast her like twice, which is just a free win each time. All right, they're over it. Katara, Water Tribe's Hope, absolutely broken. We get to play June there and then tap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 permanents. Everybody's a 6/6 attacking in. Yeah, tap this instead of crewing it and tap June as well. Yeah, that's actually everybody's 6 power toughness minimum. Send it all in. They have to chump, go to 3. Stupid magic card. Absolutely stupid magic card. And that is going to be 5 wins now. We are 5-1 in the money here, leaving with a million bajillion gems and way too many packs of Avatar, The Last Airbender. Game 7 now. We're on the draw, but this is a pretty nice, pretty quick hand. It has all of our colors. We have a turn 1 creature. We have a turn 2 Tools of War that plays well with that turn 1 creature. For more clues, if all of our clues are still sitting around, we've got Katara to use them well. Believe we attack in for 1 instead of holding this off, because they're much more likely to be tapping it and playing another creature here. Could actually just Azula Always Lies it and keep them off mana right now. Feels worth it in the early game, especially on the draw. Just kill the mana dork. Make sure they're not dropping like a 4-mana spell on us on turn 3 while we're sitting on 2 lands. Okay, Glider Kids is the play then. Poke for 2 with Menace, drop Katara. Scry to the top for our opponent. I actually don't have the mana to play Tools of War and Poxbearers in the same turn. Because they have 1 white, 1 black. I would need a second of either to play both. Suki Kyoshi Warrior. Don't got any removal for that, but I would love to blow that up if I could. Court Official and Poxbearers, and have blocks somewhat set up for Suki then, to stop her from popping off. Feels like the play. Combat Trick with Suki would be gross here. So I think I am blocking Suki with Poxbearers and Inspector. So I can attack with Katara to get a counter on her, if I'm not blocking with her anyway. But then they could instead spend their removal on like Inspector and I couldn't block Suki for the turn, which would be really, really bad. I think I have to hold. +1/+1 counter on all their allies, great rare. Does that put a counter on all the allies? No, just the lieutenant when they make another one. Okay. So, I mean, we lose the game to like any combat trick here. There's not a lot I can do about that though. They have the dream hand, they have the dream hand. Could have lost my entire board to kill their 1 Suki and the rare still remains and the Glider Kids as well. Just got a green-white allies draft deck over there. Yeah, I mean, now Suki's permanently 5 power from this, or 5 toughness from this lieutenant. We don't have enough power to kill her. I don't have enough permanents for Katara to insta-kill them or anything. And they've got removal for this one anyway. Need more permanents for more water bending. I need 1 more land for this card to matter. I would need to be able to play this and Katara in the same turn. Tiniest chance in the universe. They attack in a way to where we survive barely and then they're dead to boomerang basics. That's our 1 out. But it would have to be like them choosing not to attack with everybody. If they literally just click attack with everybody, we just lose. But you never know. Yeah, I mean, we lose. Oh, it's just an incredible ally synergy curve out from our opponent here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's lethal unless I block with my whole board because they played another ally. God dang it. I feel like we would have won on the play. Katara's like a turn too slow because they got that curve out. Boomerang Basics would have been a lot more effective as well. And then we've had a sold out as well. Man. That is a bummer and a half. All right, 5-2 it is. Cannot get past the 5-win runs. I feel like we played really hot today, though. I don't have any issues with how I played any of those games or how I built the deck. I think we did the best we could with what we got. Took it quite far for another 5-2 run here. Basically, the only massive thing going for the deck being the Katara. We tried to pull together the best synergy we could and got plenty of wins without her. This is a really nice run today. So, don't want to be too bummed out by not getting the collector box, but we've only got one more attempt here. This is run 6 out of 7. So one last chance to get that collector box, and just that reality is dawning on me here. Just might not be our day. We might not make it to the collector box. Might not be able to get one for every single set, but we'll find out soon enough. That'll be tomorrow's video, the final run of the Avatar The Last Airbender collector booster box event. Certainly had some earlier runs where we went 4-2 or 5-2 that I did have at least one of the two games. I think that had I played perfectly or mulliganed where I didn't, we would have had more of like a 50-50 chance of winning one of those games instead of just losing them. So there were some earlier runs that I think if I played and built perfectly might have been able to get to that 6th potential game, and who knows from there. So there were some runs I think I didn't quite do my best, but this one I think I'm more than happy with the 5-2 out of this. I don't think we could have pulled out wins in those two losses. It's just how the cookie crumbles there. Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed we find slightly better matchups, maybe a slightly better sealed pool, and maybe just be on the draw like in that final game. Maybe get to wrap things up with a collector booster box, but as for now, for today, that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.